K-pop Demon Hunters has quickly become one of those movies that people can't stop talking about. And a big reason behind that excitement is the growing discussion around whether the animated hit will ever get a live action version. The idea itself feels like something straight out of fan casting dreams. And even though no studio has made anything official yet, fans already think one character from the animated movie has the perfect real life match. And honestly, after listening to the arguments, it is hard not to agree. Movie directed by Maggie Kang became a surprising hit in 2025. It didn't enter the year with massive hype, but slowly through word of mouth and enthusiastic reviews, it climbed the charts and actually managed to outperform many of Netflix's biggest releases. Its combination of fun K-pop energy, stylish animation, supernatural action, and heartfelt storytelling made it a unique blend that viewers immediately connected with. Because of all this buzz, the movie also started entering the awards conversation, with a lot of critics saying it deserves a serious look at next year's Oscars. When a movie becomes this successful in such a short time, the talk of sequels and live-action remakes is almost guaranteed. Luckily, the sequel is already happening. Fans were thrilled when it was confirmed that Pop Demon Hunters 2 is in development and scheduled for a 2029 release. This practically guarantees that the franchise will keep growing, and with that comes the natural curiosity about what other versions of the story might appear in the future. And this is where things get really interesting. Even though no one has officially confirmed a live-action remake, many people in the fan community think that if the movie ever becomes live-action, one actor is already locked in as the perfect choice. And that actor is none other than Jeong. For many fans, imagining someone else in the role of Bobby seems almost impossible. Jeong is already beloved for his unforgettable comedy roles in The Hangover and Community. His voice brought Bobby to life in K-pop Demon Hunters, and many fans still laugh at how perfectly matched the character's personality. But what makes things even better is the fact that Jeong himself has joked about how similar he is to Bobby in real life. The character is quirky, energetic, occasionally chaotic, and incredibly passionate about his job, qualities that Jeong naturally brings without even trying. Recently, Jeong introduced the Huntiarjack singers during the Macy's Thanksgiving parade, and fans went wild because it felt like Bobby had literally stepped out of the movie and into real life. The charisma, the humor, the expressions, the energy, everything matched so well that people online basically said, "This is it. He is Bobby." When you look at Bobby's character in the animated movie, he is a long-time experienced manager who handles the schedules, rehearsals, promotions, and everything else the group needs. The movie doesn't directly reveal his age, but it's easy to assume he has been in the industry for years. He is older, wiser, but also extremely funny and full of personality. Jeong fits this description effortlessly. His comedic style, physical performance, and natural ability to move between heartfelt moments and silly moments make him ideal for a role like Bobby. Beyond that, he has a certain authenticity that comes from age and experience, something that can't be faked. If Pop Demon Hunters ever becomes a live-action film, casting Jeong wouldn't feel like a gimmick or a stunt. It would feel natural, expected, and completely right. And it helps that this isn't the first time Jeong has played a slightly clumsy, slightly over-the-top, yet immensely lovable character. He has a way of adding layers to these roles, even when they seem comedic on the surface. His comedic timing, emotional range, and general on-screen presence would make him very convincing in a live-action version of Bobby. For many fans, it almost feels like the animated character was created with him in mind, even if that wasn't the original intention. However, while imagining Jeong playing Bobby on screen is extremely fun and exciting, there's a bigger debate happening within the fan community and even among filmmakers, and that debate revolves around whether K-pop Demon Hunters should ever be turned into a live-action movie at all. On one hand, the idea sounds thrilling, especially because the movie is filled with colorful visuals, musical moments, magical elements, and stylish action sequences. A live-action adaptation could attract an even bigger global audience and take advantage of the rising popularity of K-pop worldwide. But on the other hand, the past has shown that live-action remakes of animated favorites rarely live up to expectations. A long history of disappointment still follows this genre. While some live-action adaptations, like One Piece and How to Train Your Dragon, have managed to win over fans, even they haven't been able to surpass the emotional power and artistic beauty of their original animated versions. Many animated movies rely heavily on exaggerated expressions, stylized environments, and impossible physics, things that are perfectly normal in animation but look strange or awkward in live action. This puts a lot of pressure on filmmakers because if they try to recreate the exact feel of the animated version, it might come across as too artificial. But if they change too much, fans claim that the live action version ruined the original. Maggie Kang, the creator and director of K-pop Demon Hunters, once admitted she had thought about a live-action adaptation. In earlier interviews, she sounded open to the idea, but more recently, she revealed that she no longer believes it's the right direction. In a new BBC interview, she explained how animation gives creators a unique ability to combine different attributes that may not be possible in live action. She used the character Rumi as an example. He's saying that animation allowed them to push the limits of how much energy, movement, expression, and personality one character could have. Animation lets artists create emotional exaggerations, stylistic movements, and heightened scenes that look natural only because the world is drawn. She mentioned how animation allows storytellers to elevate what's possible, and this is something K-pop Demon Hunters does extremely well. The movie blends action, fantasy, music, and exaggerated visuals into a world that feels magical but still grounded. Translating that exact tone into live action could easily break the charm. If the characters are made too realistic, they lose some of what makes them lovable. If the world is made too realistic, it loses the vibrant spark that makes it visually memorable. If the action scenes are toned down to fit real-world physics, they lose their iconic flair. And if CGI tries too hard to compensate, the movie might end up looking too artificial. This is why many fans believe that as fun as the idea of a live-action remake may sound, it might actually harm the essence of what makes K-pop Demon Hunters so special. The animated movie works because it takes full advantage of that medium. It exaggerates motion, amplifies style, pushes expressions, blends magic with pop culture, and creates a high-energy world that feels like a fantasy K-pop music video mixed with anime action. That vibe is extremely hard to recreate in real life without losing something important. The beauty of the animated original is that nothing feels restricted. The demons, the magical battles, the colorful choreography, and even the character designs all work together to create a world that is larger than life. Trying to shrink that world into a realistic live-action format might limit everything that made the movie shine. It's the same reason why many animated classics like Kung Fu Panda or Spider-Verse are better left untouched in live-action form, because the animation is not just a style, it is the soul of the story. So, while it's extremely fun to imagine Jeong finally stepping into Bobby's shoes for a live-action version, the bigger picture suggests that maybe the franchise should remain animated. With the sequel on the way, the creative team has an opportunity to expand the world even further, improve the animation, push the emotional depth, and create even more unforgettable moments. Instead of trying to change mediums, it might be better to let the franchise grow exactly where it already flourishes. Fans love Bobby, they love Rumi, they love Hentar X, and they love the magical world the movie has built. The animation allows everything to feel fast, stylish, expressive, and full of character. It gives the creators freedom to explore ideas that a live-action version would struggle to handle. So while Jeong remains the perfect live-action Bobby, and probably always will, the best thing for the franchise is to continue embracing what makes it uniquely special, its animation. In the end, it's totally okay to dream about live-action casting, to imagine scenes recreated with real actors, and to play around with fan-made concepts. But at the same time, it's clear that K-pop Demon Hunters is one of those stories that thrives because of the medium it exists in. And sometimes trying to turn animated magic into live-action realism ends up reducing the very magic fans fell in love with. The sequel coming in 2029 promises to expand the story, explore the characters more deeply, and deliver even more visually stunning scenes, all without sacrificing the animated charm that made people fall in love with the movie in the first place.